decided to do a little bit of a videography of my train layout as I'm building it. This is going to be my first attempt at what I would say a large layout. I've done, up to now, I've done mostly smaller layouts like 4x8s and stuff like that. This layout here is going to be quite a bit bigger. I do have like a quick printout and don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but as you can see, this is going to be kind of sort of a U. It's going to loop up and around and then back up and around here. The section I'm working on first is this section here. That's a section I'm going to be modeling right now. A lot of detail still needs to be done on this here track plan. The track plan I'm designing with AnyRail, a program called AnyRail. It's a really nice program. For Benchwork, I thought, well, I can make my own Benchwork. I've seen lots of videos. I have the tools to make my own Benchwork, but I decided to use this. It's called by a company called Miani, and it's customizable Benchwork. And basically, it uses sort of a cam locking type system to put everything together. So as you can see, we got like a little cam, and then you got a screw here, and this kind of, pulls it all together. Miani has this unique leg feature, and as you can kind of see, it's sort of like a stop sign with like a hexagon type shape. And so that way you can go off it at different angles. And then of course they also have holes here on the bottom legs, and they also include leg levelers, so you can adjust it if you have an uneven basement. So the Miani system, the one screw goes here in the center hole. I'm not going to screw it all the way in. Then you have these pins. They go in here and go in here. And then you have what they call I-frames. That's these pieces right here. And then that kind of screws in there. You have a little cam lock right here, and that holds it all together. I happen to just have an extra leg. So what I did is I bought, at Miani you can have them to where you can give them your track plan, and they'll basically build you the entire Benchwork. Well, because of budget and stuff, I didn't want to do that, because while this stuff's nice, it's actually a little more pricier than like as if you just did your regular old Benchwork for model railroading. Reason why I chose it is because, my carpentry skills aren't exactly what I would say great. And I wanted something that I can basically count on, especially since this is going to be my first large layout. I wanted something that I knew was going to be nice, straight, level, and I wanted to start off on a good foot. So that's one of the main reasons why I chose this. The other reason is because, basically getting it in and out of our basement. They ship this stuff, and it's in like 40-pound boxes, and it's real easy to actually get down to your basement, get set up and all that. I don't have a truck or anything to get like large pieces of lumber. As you can see, when I go to Home Depot and I picked up my plywood for the top, I had them actually cut it so that way it will fit easily in our vehicle. We could rent a truck, but then that's just added cost. Now, as far as the Miani system, as far as the Benchwork itself, it was actually really easy to install. I actually put up all this Benchwork here. I think it was a little over maybe 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours tops. Most of it I did pretty much by myself. My wife helped me with some of the more difficult pieces. Where it becomes, as far as like just doing the legs and doing the outside I-beams, that was easy. Where it becomes a bit of a pain in the butt is when you get sections like this, which is what they call these double adapters and stuff like that, because you have to actually fit pins and all that, and this has to all come together. This here, I'm going to be honest with you, I really think they need to redesign their concept here, because this was a royal pain in the ass to get this right. It was a lot of work to get that, and constantly fighting with it. The other thing is like what I did is I bought 2 kits. This is a combination of what they call a 4x8 kit, and this section here is what's called the 02-30 kit. So this here is a 30-inch wide, and basically this is 4 feet wide. There's going to be on the outside edge, there's going to be a walking path there, and then of course in the center here is walking path. When I got the layout, this is actually a really nice height. I think this is 30 inches, or I can't remember. Anyways, I think it's like 36 inches. I can grab my tape measure. But as you can see, I can reach in here from the center. I can get in here to the center really nice and easy. On this, the 30-inch, I can actually get all the way to the edge, but I can also get from the back side, so that's fine too. When I actually do the layout, I'm going to have a backdrop that's running in the back here. So as far as that back edge goes, the backdrop, I'm going to actually have it to where I can actually move it out of the way. I'm going to have it to where it's like secured, and I can just like kind of pull it up and lift it out of the way. So the main reason I'm doing that is because after I put all this together, I found out like getting from the one side, getting into this back corner here was going to be too difficult. So that's why I just kind of said, all right, well, I'll just make a little walking path just so I can basically get to this one corner. Because otherwise, if this was up completely against the wall, because that has like a little angle right there, there was no way to get to this back corner here. I couldn't reach it from here, and I couldn't reach it from there. So if I had a derailment or trying to do any type of work, it would have been really difficult. And I didn't want to do a pop-in. I've seen a lot of people, they do the little pop-ins, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Some other nice things about the Miani system is basically, as you can see, it's a very solid it's a very solid benchwork. You're not going to climb on this. You're not going to use it as your daily workbench because it's definitely not strong. But it's definitely strong enough for trains, especially for me. I'm HO scale. I'm not sure how well this will handle like others, like an O scale. I can't see why it wouldn't, but so. The construction of this is sort of, as you can see, this is like a hardwood here. I think they said it was poplar, and these are all poplar. And then it has an MDF frame. The reason why they say they make this with an MDF frame is to reduce weight for shipping. Of course, it's also reducing the cost, obviously. But he said it's also because when you get into like a basement environment, the wood has a tendency to expand and shrink, and the MDF kind of helps alleviate that. So if you're like pinning down your track, you don't have to worry about it buckling up. I've seen some layouts where the track buckles. Then also some other things about the Miani system, because they put all the holes in here for like running your different configurations, you can actually use those to run your wiring. So when you're sitting there and you're doing all your electrical work underneath the table and you're putting in your bus lines and stuff, you can actually do that and run all your wiring right through here. So it kind of saves you so you're not having to staple it up underneath your layout. So you can still staple it if you want, but that's fine. But you use those what they call wire tacks. So that's pretty much it for as far as the benchwork. The next step I'm doing is I'm going to be putting this 1/2-inch plywood top. So basically, that's going to go on next. So basically put some plywood right here. Kind of like that. And with Miani, they include these little plastic hangers. And how this works is you take one of these, it gets screwed on in the inside here, and then you have another screw that screws up onto your top. So that way, if you wanted to, afterwards, you technically, you can actually remove your top and break this all down and put it all back together again. So, and then on top of this, I'm going to be putting a piece of 1.5 inch foam. And basically the foam serves two purposes. One is it's a nice little sound deadener, so it actually helps with some of the sound noise as the train goes around the rails. The other thing that's nice about it is this is good for modeling. Foam, you know, it's easy for like tacking scenery down, you know, temporarily. You can, if I wanted to, I can carve into this, so it actually becomes useful for modeling. As you can see with this system, you're not going to be doing like a cookie cutter type benchwork design, but that's fine. I'm not going to model this that way anyway. So, all right, and that's where I'm at now. So the next video I do will be probably when I get the top all on, and I'll start modeling my first scene, which is going to be right here, and that's going to be my logging camp. So it's going to be a little mountainous area here with a logging camp. So, thanks.